I'm Kevin Jordan,
I'm Russ Kauff.
and today we're talking about having a good focus going into the season.
So, Kevin, you came through a very intensive spring with national team selection. Lots going on there, lots of information going through your head. You had a good program in Portillo with a couple of teammates, and you're going into some clinics at Big Snow in New Jersey, which is going to be awesome. And what I would like to know is whether you have a ski focus for yourself.
Yep.
So that you can execute a good level of performance from the first turn going forward.
Yeah. So my ski focus, it's going to sound pretty simple, but it's all about keeping my inside elbow bent. And the reason why is because if I outstretch my arm, or a lot of times like I'm trying to get my hip closer and closer, but what it actually does is instead of creating angles for me, it actually inclines me more. So if I keep my inside elbow bent, and I would also add up, what will happen is my hip gets lower to the snow, and it's weird, but it has really nothing to do with that, but it's the cue that helps me actually get a better performance.
Can you address the ski performance you're looking for?
Yeah, so I'll get a higher edge angle if I do it that way.
Got it. And how does the ski perform better with a higher edge angle and that body position?
Yeah, it tracks better, but I can also get out of the turn a little easier, so I can untip it if I think about that or if I do that.
Sweet. And that's about your awareness, which is ideal.
Yep.
Do you have any skiers that you watch for a good visual cue or a good image for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, some of my favorite skiers to watch, I'm always watching what Keely Weibel's doing, Swiss guy. I love him, and also Patrick Bates. Like, those are the two that I kind of go to the most, so I always watch what their feeds are doing and what they're skiing on.
Yeah, good social media presence, lots of video by those two guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Nice.
So Russ, we talked a little bit about a ski focus, but I'm curious about a teaching focus, because I think it's also good to have one of those going into the season. So is there anything you're working on in your teaching or focusing on for that?
Yeah, it's something that I try to be cognizant of as a coach, but it's also something that I've observed a lot kind of rolling around Aspen Snowmass and listening to a lot of coaches out there. And that's the important distinction between error correction and teaching.
Nice.
Error correction for me is an important skill that you learn as you're coming through the process, movement analysis and real versus all that sort of stuff. It's an effective way of conveying information and generating knowledge on the part of your students, but it is not necessarily a great way to improve their skiing performance.
Right.
So the better thing to have as a methodology is much more experiential.
Yeah.
And feeding that into my training clinics is where I'm kind of spending my time thinking, how do I educate instructors and coaches to be more experiential in what they're doing? It keeps your students and your athletes out of the cognitive zone.
Yeah.
So their learning is faster, their learning is more thorough, and their learning is a lot more joyful. It's way more fun.
Cool. That's awesome. So we figured we'd share some of our focuses in terms of are there any skiers or teachers that you look to?
Yeah, there are definitely some people around in Aspen Snowmass who I think are really great at synthesizing sort of organic experiential programs. There are definitely some teachers that live on in my memory whose example continues to feed my own teaching and coaching. And I think because it really is student-centered, it's important to allow everyone to find their own voice in that respect. The cool thing is that we both have a lot of opportunities coming up where we can practice both at the same time while still being present with the people we're working with. You've got your Big Snow days next week, the 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah.
You've got team training coming up in November.
Yep.
I've got some stuff coming up in November. We have trainers training coming up Thanksgiving weekend, and then we're off to the races in the season. I think it's really important that we have a focus going in that you can play through.
Yeah.
And as trainers, if we're providing the people in our clinics with something that they can take away that's operationally workable, it's hugely beneficial.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have a focus, you can target on it, you can actually work on it, then you can measure it to see if you're getting any better.
Totally.
So we shared ours.
Yeah, man.
Share yours.
Thanks.
Thank you.